Okay, so this is not the video I was planning on making this week, but I feel it's a video that is very important. As of the morning of November 2nd, Cedar Fair and Six Flags have officially merged into one company. All of the information I'm covering in this video is available publicly in its entirety on the Six Flags official website, which a link to the full article will be in the description of this video if you want to read it all. Now, let's not waste any more time and get into the video. First things first, this was not an accusation of any company. This was a mutual agreement to become one large company, which operates with two different branches, in this case Six Flags and Cedar Fair. Richard Zimmerman, the chief executive office of Cedar Fair, stated this about the purpose of the merger. Our merger with Six Flags will bring together two of North America's iconic amusement park companies to establish a highly diverse footprint and a more robust operating model to enhance park offerings and performance. Together, we will have an expanded and complementary portfolio of attractive assets and intellectual property to deliver engaging entertainment experiences for guests. The combination also creates an enhanced financial profile with strong cash flow generation to accelerate investments in our parks and to delight our guests, driving increased levels of demand and in-park value and spending. I have great respect for the Six Flags team and look forward to joining forces as we embark on this next chapter together. To put that in different terms, he is basically saying by merging the companies, they will have more income flowing in due to the larger amount of parks, and because of this, they will have more capital to reinvest into new rides and park improvements. Not only that, this will allow them to increase park offerings and better park operations on top of that. However, how effective this will be is yet to be seen. Pretty much the end goal of this whole thing is to increase the rate of money coming into the company, so that in turn, they will be able to increase the amount of new attractions they can put into each of their parks. Personally, I think this sounds great, because not only it means that the parks themselves will be getting nicer and run smoother, but on top of that, we will be getting new additions and more often, which I don't know about you, but that sounds fantastic. On the same topic, Salim Basul, chief executive officer of Six Flags, added, "A combination of Six Flags and Cedar Fair will redefine our guest amusement park experience, as we combine the best of both companies. Six Flags and Cedar Fair share a strong cultural alignment, operating philosophy, and steadfast commitment to providing customers with thrilling experiences. By combining our operational models and technological platforms, we expect to accelerate our transitional activities and unlock new potential for our parks. We are excited to unite the Cedar Fair and Six Flags teams to capitalize on the tremendous growth opportunities and operational efficiencies of our combined platform for the benefit of our guests, shareholders, employees, and other stakeholders." Now, once again, he covers a few of the same topics Mr. Zimmerman did, but also talks about the combination of the operational models, which I find very interesting. Now, Cedar Fair has almost always followed the strategy of 3 or 4 parks getting a large new addition every year. You can see that within 2024, 3 parks are getting new large-scale additions. On the other hand, Six Flags, until recently, used the strategy of every park got something every year. Now, this sounds good on paper until you think about how expensive amusement attractions are, and that's when you run into the big issue. If every park is getting a ride, then none of the attractions will be super high quality like you get at Cedar Fair parks. Now, recently, Six Flags has started to follow more of a Cedar Fair-esque business strategy, but with the way that this is phrased, it makes me think that both companies will start following the same strategy, which is actually a really good thing. If this is the case, then this means we will start seeing large coaster investments return to Six Flags parks, and possibly begin seeing them work with manufacturers such as Mach and B&M more. Now, before I end the video, I want to go over a few other things about the deal, starting with this quote from the article. "The companies expect to leverage Cedar Fair's recent park investments experience to accelerate the transformation underway across Six Flags' portfolio. Cedar Fair and Six Flags will seek to create a more engaging and immersive guest experience." Now, this is something that really intrigues me, because over the past few years, Cedar Fair has started to focus more on theming, and the way it is phrased, it makes me think that this could also start coming to the Six Flags parks. When you look at an attraction like Copperhead Strike or Iron Menace, you can see that Cedar Fair has started to update the area surrounding their new attractions in order to bring new life to that part of the park, So if this ends up coming to Six Flags as well, then I think this might just be the best possible move for the chain. And the last thing is this quote. Following the close of the transaction, Cedar Fair unit holders will own approximately 51.2%, and Six Flags shareholders will own approximately 48.8% of the combined company's full diluted share capital on a pro forma basis. And upon closing of the transaction, Richard Zimmerman, President and Chief Executive Officer of Cedar Fair, will serve as President and Chief Executive Officer of the combined company. Salim Basul, President and Chief Executive Officer of Six Flags, will serve as the Executive Chairman of the combined company's Board of Directors. Now, this is really interesting to me for a few reasons. For one, I was expecting them to have a 50-50 split of control, but instead, it seems Cedar Fair is taking more of a leader role, which I honestly think is the best case scenario. Cedar Fair is a much more consistent company, and it is because of this that I think they are more fit to be at the head of this joint company. Now, that is not to say that Six Flags doesn't have their own strengths. It's just overall, Cedar Fair is stronger as a company. This also makes me further believe that what I said earlier about Six Flags adopting some of Cedar Fair's business practices during the merge. But let me real quick give my personal opinion on the merge deal before I wrap this thing up. Personally, I am optimistic that this will end up being beneficial for both companies involved. From what I have read and covered in this video, I don't see anything that would be a red flag of sorts. If anything, I am seeing nothing but good in what they are saying is going to be happening at the parks going forward. Of course, I could be wrong, and that's okay. But that's where you come in. I want to know your thoughts on the merge in the comments down below. And while you're down there, be sure to subscribe. I'm trying to reach 300 subscribers by the end of 2023, so if you could help me out, it would mean the world to me. That's all for this video, so we will be back to our regularly scheduled videos next week. Bye for now.